The victim. Why doesn't the individual know his own self? This should be the easiest thing in the world, and however, it became difficult. The most difficult. It has become virtually impossible to get to know you the same. What went wrong? The individual has the ability to know. It is there, and the capacity of knowledge is there. So what went wrong? Why this ability to knowledge cannot turn to itself? Only one thing has gone wrong, and unless you correct it, the individual will remain in ignorance in relation to himself. And the thing that went wrong is a split that was created within him. He lost its integrity. Society has turned the individual into a broken house, that is, divided against itself. The strategy is simple and once understood, can be removed. It is as follows. Society provides man with the ideals of how he should be, and reinforces these ideals so deeply in him that man becomes always interested in the ideal how he should be, and forgets who he is. People are obsessed with the future ideal and forget about the present reality. The eyes of people are facing the distant future. And that's why they can't turn to inside. They are constantly thinking about what to do, how to do it, and how to be. The language that they use became, I must do, and I have to. And the reality is just being and being in the present. Reality knows no duty, no obligation. A rose is a rose, there is no doubt that it is something else. And the lotus flower is a lotus flower. Neither the rose tries to become a lotus flower, nor the lotus flower tries to become pink. So they are not neurotic. They don't need a psychiatrist or any psychoanalysis. The pink is healthy because it simply lives in its own reality. And so it is with the existence as a whole, except with man. Only man has ideals and must do this and that one. He must be this and that. And so he is divided against his own being. Should and be, they are enemies. And he can't be anything he isn't. Need to let it anchor deep in the heart. Man can only be what he is, and never anything else. One time deepening this truth that I can only be myself, all the imposed ideals disappear. They are automatically discarded. And when there is no ideal, there is reality. Hence then, the eyes are turned towards the here and now, and therefore the man is present for what he is. The division disappeared. Man is a complete being. This is the first step, being one with yourself. And it's hard given so much conditioning, so much education, so many civilizing efforts. If you take the first step of just accepting and loving yourself as you are, moment by moment. For example, you are sad. Right now is sad. All of your conditioning tells you, you mustn't be sad, is bad, must not stay sad. You have to be happy. Now the division and hence the problem. You are sad. This is the truth right now. And your conditioning in your mind says, you should not look like this. You have to be happy. He used to smile. What will people think of you? Your wife can leave you if you're too sad. Your friends can desert you if you're too sad. Your business will be destroyed if you remain too sad. It needs to laugh. It needs to smile. It has fur less than pretending to be happy. If you are a doctor, patients will not feel well if you are very sad. They want a doctor who is happy, healthy. But he seems to be very sad. Need to smile. Even if you can't produce a real smile, it should be printed on the face a fake smile as long as it is a smile. You must at least pretend, act. This is the problem. Pretending. Acting. It is possible to produce a smile, but with that the person becomes or turns into two others. He repressed the truth and became an imposter, and the imposter is appreciated by society. The imposter becomes a saint, the imposter becomes or tries to make a great leader. And everyone starts following the imposter. The imposter becomes the ideal of all. That's why the human being is incapable of knowing himself. How can you know yourself even if you don't accept yourself? It represses your being constantly. What should be done then? When you are sad, you need to accept the sadness. This is a feeling that the man is having to make fact. You shouldn't say, "I'm sad." It should not say that sadness is something separate from it. He can simply affirm, "I am the sadness. Right now, I'm sadness." Need to live your sadness with complete authenticity. And you will be surprised when a miraculous door opens to your being. To the living your sadness without the image of being happy, the man is happy immediately, because the division fades away. There is no longer any division. I am sadness, and there is no doubt about any ideal of being something else. So, there is no effort, no conflict. Just that, and a feeling of relaxation. Relaxation that translates into grace and joy. All the pain psychological only exists because people are divided. Pain means division, and happiness means the absence of division. It may seem paradoxical. If someone is sad and accepts their sadness, how can you become joyful? It may seem paradoxical, but this is how it happens. Just try. And I'm not saying, one must try to be happy, or one must accept sadness so that if you can be happy. I don't mean it. If that's your motivation, then nothing will happen, and the fight will continue. You'll watch out of the corner of your eye, thinking, so much time has passed, and I've accepted even the sadness besides saying I am the sadness, and the joy has not yet arrived. She will not come like this. Joy is not a goal, it is a byproduct. It is a natural consequence of the unity, of the uniqueness. One should just stay united with this sadness without motivation and without any purpose. In particular, there is no need for any purpose. This is how you find yourself right now. It's your truth. And the next moment you can be angry, and you must accept it also. And in the next moment, it may be in some other way, and you must also accept in the same way. People must live each moment with extreme acceptance, without creating no division, so as to move towards self-knowledge. Abandon the division, because therein lies the whole problem. Everyone is against himself. Abandon all ideals that create that antagonism within you. Everyone is what they are. Accept it with joy and gratitude. And, suddenly a harmony will be felt. The two selves, the ideal me and the real me, will no longer be there to fight. They will meet and merge into one. It's not really the sadness that causes the pain to people. It is the interpretation that sadness is wrong that causes them pain. And this becomes a psychological problem. It's not the anger that's painful. It's the idea that anger is wrong that creates psychological anxiety. It's the interpretation, not the fact. The fact is always liberating. Jesus said, "Truth sets free." And that is of tremendous importance. Yes, the truth sets you free, but without knowing about the truth. Be the truth, and it will set you free. Be the truth, and there will be release. You don't have to produce it, you don't have to wait for it, because it happens instantly. How to be the truth. The man is already the truth. It's just carrying fake ideals that create the problem. You have to abandon ideals and try to be a natural being for a few days. Just like trees, animals, and birds, man has to accept being what's he like. And there is a great silence. It couldn't be different. There is no interpretation. So sadness is beautiful and has depth. And anger is also beautiful and has life and vitality. Gives likewise, sex is beautiful as it has creativity. When there is no interpretation, everything is beautiful. When everything is beautiful, people are relaxed. And in this relaxed state, the man it composes its own source, which in turn generates self-knowledge. Settling into your own source is what is meant when Socrates said, "Know thyself." It is not a question of knowledge, but a question of internal transformation. And what is this transformation? I'm not going to reveal any ideals of how people should be. No, I will say that people need to transform what they are to become someone else. Must just feel relaxed with who you are and just watch. Do you understand what I mean? Just notice this. This is liberation. A big harmony. Great music is heard. It is the music of self-knowledge. His life starts to change. With this, The individual has a magic key that unlocks all the locks. What is repression? Repression is living the life you are not meant to live. Repression is doing things you never wanted to do. Repression is being the subject that someone specifically never was. Repression is a means of destroying yourself. Repression is suicide. Very slow, of course, but a slow poisoning for sure. Expression is life, while repression is suicide. This is Tantra's message. Don't live a repressed life, otherwise you will not live. Alive a life of expression, creativity, joy. Live the way existence, God, I would like you to live, and live naturally. And don't be afraid of priests. Listen to your instincts, listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your intelligence. Trust yourself. Go wherever your spontaneity takes you, and you'll never lose out. And when following spontaneously, with natural life, one day he will be forced to reach the gates of the divine. Repression is a way to avoid risk. For example, people are taught never to be angry and think that a person who is never angry tends to be very affectionate. It's wrong. A person who never gets angry will not be able to love either. These capabilities go together, they come in the same package. The man who really loves gets really angry sometimes. However, your anger is beautiful, as it is for love. Since his energy is hot, no one is hurt by his attacks of anger. In fact, people are grateful that he's angry. Have you noticed this? When doing something to the person you love, and the person gets really angry, frankly angry, doesn't feel grateful because he knows she loves him so much that he can allow himself to be angry. It's the opposite. Why? When you don't want to indulge in anger, you maintain politeness. When you don't want to afford anything, you don't want to take any risk, the smile remains. It does not matter. If the son is going to throw himself in the abyss, won't dad be mad? Won't you scream? Will your energy not boil? Will you continue smiling? It's not possible. When you love, you can get angry. When you love, you can allow yourself get angry. One who loves himself will never be repressive but expressive of all that life offers, and this is a necessity in life. Otherwise, life is wasted. He will express your joys, your sorrows, your peak moments, your depressed moments, your days, your nights. However, man was created to be false, and he was brought up to be a hypocrite. When feels angry, keeps smiling, a smile made up. When he gets angry, he represses his anger. When feels sexuality on the surface, represses it. It's never true to what's inside of it. That is what happened. Joe and his young daughter Midge took a trip to an amusement park. On the way, stopped for a full meal. In the park, they came to a hot dog stand, and Midge started to say, "Dad, I want..." Joe interrupted her and gave her popcorn. When they reached the ice cream vendor, little Midge once again shouted, "Dad, I want..." Joe cut her off again, but this time he said, "You want it, you want it. I know what you want. Ice cream, isn't it?" "No, Daddy," she pleaded. "I want to throw up." It was what she had been wanting from the beginning. But who listens? Repression is not listening to your nature. Repression is a device to destroy the person. 12 skinheads, bubble boys, walk into a pub in their Levi's jackets and all of their own equipment. They walk up to the owner and ask, 13 mugs of draft beer, please. But you are only 12. Look, we want 13 mugs of draft beer. Then the owner gives them the beer and everyone sits down. A small old guy is sitting in a corner where the leader of the skinheads walks. He says, "Here it is, Dad. Here is a mug of beer for you." The little guy says, "Thank you. Thank you. You are generous, son. It's okay. I don't mind helping cripples. But I'm not a cripple. You will if you don't pay for the next round." This is what repression is, a trick to cripple man, a device to weaken him. It's a trick to turn him against himself. It's a way of creating conflict within yourself, and always that a man is in conflict with himself, it is clear that he becomes very weak. Society has played a beautiful game to turn everyone against themselves. And with that, all they constantly struggle against the being itself. Nobody has more energy to do any other thing. Can you see this happening to you? An ongoing struggle. Society makes the being human a divided person, makes him schizophrenic and confuses him, as if he were a trunk to drift in the river. He doesn't know who he is, he doesn't know where he's going, he doesn't know what he's doing on here. You don't know why you're here in the first place. It really confuses people. And this confusion are born great leaders. Adolf Hitler, Mao Zedong, Joseph Stalin. Also from this confusion arises the Pope of the Vatican, in addition to 1,001 things. But man is destroyed. Tantra says, be expressive. But remember, the expression does not mean irresponsibility. Tantra says, be expressive intelligently, and nothing bad will happen to anyone. A man who cannot harm himself will never harm anyone. On the other hand, a man who harms himself is a dangerous man in some way. If you don't even have love for yourself itself, it is dangerous and can harm anyone. In fact, it will hurt. When someone is sad, when someone is depressed, it causes other people around you to be sad and depressed. When you are happy, you want to create a happy environment, because happiness can only exist in a happy world. By living joyfully, a person wants everyone to be joyful. This is the true religion. From the joy itself, the human being blesses all existence. I'm so conditioned as a Catholic that I don't see any hope for me. You still? I'm so conditioned as a Catholic that I don't see any hope for me. You still can help me. Catholic or communist, Muslim or Maoist, Jaina or Jew, it doesn't matter. It's all about the same thing. Of course, Catholics do this more systematically than Hindus do. More scientific way. They have developed a great ability to know how to condition people. However, all religions are doing this in some way, and all societies, they're doing it too, in their own way. Everyone is conditioned. The moment the child is born, from its first breath, the conditioning. And that cannot be avoided. Parents will condition her, children with whom she plays will condition her, the neighborhood will condition her, the school, the church, the state. Consciously, conditioning is not done on a large scale, but unconsciously the child accumulates it without stopping. The child learns by imitating. So don't worry. This is the normal situation in the world. Everyone is conditioned, and everyone has to get out of conditioning. It's difficult. It's not like undressing. It's how to do peeling on the skin. It's hard, arduous, because everyone starts to identify with their conditioning. They only know each other as Catholics, communists, Hindus, Muslims, Christians. The biggest the individual's fear, upon abandoning conditioning, is that of falling into an identity crisis. It's hard to let go of conditioning because it's all about the individual's past, their mind, his ego, all he is. But if you're ready, if you're brave enough to accompany me, it's possible. It has happened to many people. Be part of this event. Don't be a spectator. Join the dance. My invitation is for everyone. My invitation is unconditional. Whatever conditioning you have can be eliminated once it has been forced in. From the outside to the inside, for this reason it can also be extracted. From the inside, by the outside. I can't give you God. I can't give you the truth. I can't give you your balance internal. But I can discard all the garbage that has accumulated on the man. And once removed the garbage, God begins to come alive inside him. Once all obstacles are removed, the spring of each one's life begins to flow, and innocence is regained. Innocence recovered is paradise recovered, and man enters the Garden of Eden. Modern man is suffering from the past, and not because of his own sins, as those who call themselves religious preachers continue to preach. Suffers for the sins of centuries. But now things have reached an upper limit. The man is falling apart. So far, somehow people manage to stick together. But now things have come to at which point, either man has to totally change and transform his vision of life, or he must commit suicide. Those who follow the past may be on the verge of committing global suicide. And that's it that political leaders try to do. Preparation of atomic bombs, hydrogen bombs, hydrogen super bombs, and bomb buildup on bombs. They already have so many. Actually, just 10 years ago, they already had the ability to kill each person 7 times. 10 years ago, they were ready to destroy the Earth 7 times, even though a person dies only once. There is no need to kill her twice, as it will be unnecessary. However, if anyone survives, the politicians must be careful, which is why they plan perfectly. But this is how the things were 10 years ago. Now for the surprise. They can destroy the Earth 700 times, and each person can be killed 700 times. This is already too much, and absolutely unnecessary. 7. It's still okay because there are some shrewd people who might not die. But 700 times? And yet the race continues. Even poor countries join the race with a burning desire to take part. Even though they don't have anything to eat, they want atomic bombs. Starving, and still want more power to kill and destroy. By observing the aerial view, it is possible to see that the Earth is preparing for a suicide global, a total destruction, a general war. And it's good to remember again that this has nothing to do with modern man as far as his nature is concerned. The modern man is just a victim of the whole past. And the priests keep saying there's something wrong with the man modern and continue to praise the past. Modern man is a byproduct of all the past. All kinds of cultures, such as Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, contribute to this situation. They are the responsible, unless they all disappear, unless people drop all this pathological past and start all over again. Living in the present, with no idea of perfection, without ideals, without duties, without commandments, man is doomed.